Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news.
Some few hours ago, Nyesom Wike appeared in church for Thanksgiving for all the projects that were commissioned and inaugurated. But interestingly, Nigerians didn't see it from that perspective, considering the fact that he actually used the church pulpit to launch what they describe as political attack on those who are waging political war against Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government. Some believe that it was just an audition for public relevance, being that PDP seems to have disappeared when we talk about tough opposition. But however, Atiku Abubakar, who is part of the ADC, seems not to be allowing anything Wike says about, the coalition to land. He will pick it up and lambast him. And guess what? He didn't fail this time around, because Paul Ibe, media advisor to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has been rated Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, for using church pulpit to launch public attack. In a statement shared via his Facebook page, Ibe accused Wike of desecrating the altar by turning it into a political soapbox instead of a place of worship. According to him, he says that the land-grabbing 40-year-old whiskey guzzling minister of the FCT staggered into the church today not to seek forgiveness, but to turn the altar of the Most High into a political soapbox. Ibe said while there is nothing wrong with attending church, noting that he was also in church for Thanksgiving, it was utterly abominable to bring partisan bill to the altar. His words, and I quote, he said, "It is written, take these things away. Stop making my father's house a place of commerce." John chapter 2 verse 16, Amplified Version. But in Wike's hand, the house of God became a theater of lies, vengeance, and drunken arrogance. He accused Wike of abusing his office by allocating prime Abuja lands to his children in what he described as a feudal monarchy masquerading as public service. Ibe said Wike initially denied the allocation, but when confronted with leaked documents, he allegedly ordered the arrest of an FCDA official suspected of leaking the files. Ibe also accused Wike of hypocrisy, claiming the minister had in the past begged Atiku and his allies for vice presidential ticket ahead of the 2023 election. In his word, he said, has Wike forgotten as soon how he came to Atiku Abubakar with Makinde and others to beg to be handed the vice presidential ticket in 2023? He described Wike as someone suffering from selective amnesia due to the fondness for whiskey, saying Atiku defeated him twice during the PDP presidential primaries in 2019 and 2023 and would do so again. According to him, he says if he still tests for humiliation, he should prepare for a third and final defeat, this time right at his doorstep in Obiokpo. God is not mocked. The altar is not a podium for propaganda, and the day of reckoning is not far off. That was the position of Ibe. And shockingly, one of the key faithful of Amechi, who is a chieftain, talking about Chief Eze, has also joined in dragging Wike in the Boaha that took place yesterday, Thanksgiving that took place in church yesterday, where Wike was granted a chance to speak. Chief Eze, Chukwuemeka Eze, in his reactions to some of the claims by Wike, Eze in a statement said Wike only presented falsehood about his past exposure to the public, thereby ridiculing himself. According to him, Wike's family lived in poverty and his father's friends helped pay his school fees. Eze stated that Amechi made the most significant error in his political journey by encountering Wike and assisting him to be a local government chairman, appointing him as his chief of staff and recommending him for ministerial appointment. In his word, he says, trying to claim how rich his father was when poverty that radiated his family was as strong as the direct ray of sun is denying his background. His father, if alive, would be disappointed in his act of self-denial to justify his lavish living with public funds, not minding that his father disowned him because of his character, and if not for his father's friend who assisted him by paying his school fees, Nigerian would have been spared of having such a charlatan in public service. In his futile attempt to castigate Amaechi's wife, who had genuine dealing with the NDDC, one is forced to ask whether Wike's wife is fit for the exalted position of a judge, which she holds, given that sleeping daily in the same room and on the same bed with a character like Wike would definitely affect her sense of judgment in the delivery of justice. The business of court is a noble one, and the background of a judge shape his or her sense of judgment. As governor, Wike's biggest legacy is the destruction of all major policies and projects set up by Amaechi's government for the betterment of Rivers State and her people. The agricultural setup that would have taken care of the food challenges currently facing the Nigerian was destroyed. The educational sector and scholarship set up by Amaechi to make Rivers State a hub of human development was destroyed by Wike. It's really getting out of hand, considering the fact that some of these things have spilled beyond just issues to the immediate families of these politicians, and it's not really okay. It's not really okay. For me, I feel a little bit disappointed by what Chief Eze Chukwuemeka Eze said, trying to drag in the father of Wike into this. These are people, if the man is still alive, I mean, it's really uncalled for, dragging him into all of this. We as politicians, you should be dealing with issues, not dealing with people's family. I mean, look at now. At first, though I know that it was Wike that started when he talked about the wife of Amaechi, and now they are also talking about the wife of Wike. That imagine a judge sleeping with in the same house with someone like Wike, it will affect a sense of judgment. I mean, this is totally wrong. Dragging in the wife of any politician into something like this, which is, for me, it's just a game. Politics is a game, whether we like it or yes, it's a game. It's a game of interest. I mean, trying to drag in and talk down on people's family, for me, it's outrightly not the way to go. You understand? And I think also that our leaders, especially religious leaders, should learn to, dignify the presence of God. What happened yesterday was castigated globally. This is not how it ought to be. Imagine having a politician in your church, and you give him the space to lambast people, to talk against people, to even stand there to say, you people say this one will be a president. Wait, how can he be a president? Come on, if you're coming to do Thanksgiving, you have the right to coordinate them. And that's why all this unnecessary begging is not good. I'm talking about the religious leaders. That's why thumbs up to the likes of Bishop David Oyedepo, the likes of Paul Enenche, Arome, mention the Morogbo, and the likes. I mean, these are people who will tell you a dime of politicians have not entered into their whatever business their church is doing. They don't go out begging for anybody to come and support them, in the church business. I mean, it's totally wrong, because if you keep on giving them this kind of, or going out to beg them, they will seek for an opportunity in your church to educate your people who are vulnerable about their own, call it escape or whatever thing you want to call it, political ideas. They will come and pour it out there. And unfortunately, the people, when they come to church, they are weak emotionally. Whatever they hear, they think it is coming from the pulpit. They will accept it and they will run with it. It's actually very wrong for all of these things to happen. Politics should be played in squares and, public gatherings, not in church. I mean, come on. And that's why if you go to mosque, you won't be hearing this kind of thing, It's outrightly wrong for Christians, those who call themselves Christian, to be talking inside the church about politics and behaving as though it's a way of life, to allow politicians to come in and do what they do. All of this will call for judgment someday.